Hello ladies, it is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment. And today I want to talk about why holding on and fighting for your limiting beliefs are keeping you stuck and not where you want to be. Today we're going to dive deep into what limiting beliefs are, why we feel like we have to hold on to them for dear life, and how they can negatively affect us and how we can move forward by uncovering why and how to get past our limiting beliefs. All right, so make sure that you hit that subscribe, like, and share button, and now let's jump into this content. So first, let's discuss what limiting beliefs are. Limiting beliefs are thoughts that you believe are true that keep you limited in some way. It can be a system of beliefs or convictions that you've never questioned, you never researched, you just took them as the truth. And at one point in time, maybe they were helpful when you were a child, but now as an adult, they're actually holding you back from moving forward and from growing into your full potential. Limiting beliefs are negative because they stop you from making healthy life choices for yourself. They stop you from prioritizing your safety. They stop you from being open to new opportunities. They stop you from trying new things or having new experiences. And they keep you trapped, sometimes in very toxic or dangerous relationships. Now you're probably wondering, well, Tiffany, why would I want to be in a dangerous relationship? Why would I not want to be open to opportunities? Why would I sit and allow something to hold me back if I know it's a limiting belief? Well, that's because of the cause of the limiting belief. A lot of times limiting beliefs come from sources that at one point in our life we trusted deeply, such as family and caregivers. If you have a family that has a lot of belief systems or values, they sometimes come in the form of tradition or religion or just deep-seated values that you were raised with. So even though your family loves you and hopefully loves you and probably tried to give you clear belief systems that they thought was going to be helpful for you, it could be that some of those belief systems may be now holding you back as an adult. For example, if you have grandparents that grew up during the Great Depression or great-grandparents, they probably had some belief systems around money and saving and, making sure you don't splurge and you don't buy anything extra because they grew up in a very traumatic experience. And they probably passed some of those belief systems down generation to generation because they figured it helped them survive. Surely it can help their children. But now we live in a different age. We have more forms of technology. You might be in a situation where you have more income coming into the house. So the same things that your grandparents or your great-grandparents did may not actually be benefiting you. As a matter of fact, it may be doing the opposite and holding you back. If they ate, bread and water because at that time that's all they could afford, is actually not super healthy. Even though it's all they had, that's what they did because it's all they knew, it's all they had. Doesn't mean right now it's the best option for you because you may be in a situation where you can buy fruits and vegetables. You have access to healthier food options. So the point is that just because your grandparents did it or your ancestors did it or whoever did it, doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you to do now. You have to be able to understand that what they did way back then was probably from circumstances that they faced at that time, which was a long time ago. So you have to ask yourself, is this belief system that came from a generation before me or several generations before me that they created for themselves to survive and to move forward in their function of life, is it really serving me now based on the life that I have now, the opportunities that I have now, the abundance that's in my life? Is that really still serving me? Or is it possible that I can still have some of those old beliefs and traditions, but also start my own tradition, start my own lifestyle, and really move myself forward in a different way than my ancestors did? So you really have to understand that part of the reason sometimes that you hold on to limiting beliefs is because you feel like you have an obligation to be loyal to your family that you came from. The other reason you may have a limiting belief is because of the society or environment that you grew up in. If you grew up in a neighborhood or a community where you rarely saw women doing any major, jobs like being an engineer or, starting a tech firm or doing something that was outside of what you believed was the norm, 9 times out of 10, you may not be able to think you can do it. A lot of times the brain believes what it sees. So if it sees that women are not getting jobs in the tech field, or they're not becoming engineers, or they're not becoming doctors, then you might think, well, I guess I can't do that either because I'm not seeing it in my life. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong, and it doesn't mean that you can't grow up and pull yourself out of that environment. But a lot of times the environment and society that we grew up in and that we're surrounded by highly affects our mind and our mentality and subconsciously our belief systems. So you'll find yourself growing up and being afraid to do certain things that you really want to do because when you were younger and the environment, society that you grew up in, you never saw a woman doing that type of thing. Or you never saw maybe a single woman. Maybe you grew up in an environment where all the women had children all the time. There was no such thing as a single career woman. So you are that person, but you're not sure if it's right or wrong because you have never seen anyone do it. So again, this goes back to feeling like you have to be loyal to the belief systems because it's what you grew up around, it's a society that you grew up in, and it's probably the environment that you've known. You have to be willing to challenge yourself and say, is this belief system still serving me, or do I need to step outside of this belief system? And third, some belief systems are caused by traumatic experiences. When the human mind, again, has a negative or traumatic experience, it naturally draws the conclusion that since these experiences actually happen, it'll probably happen again. And ironically, sometimes you will have a negative experience and it might be a single event. But because you had that experience, you may start to normalize that experience subconsciously in your mind. So that when you find yourself in similar situations, it may be very difficult for you to distinguish if this is a good experience or a bad experience because you have normalized the traumatic event. So that's why you see so many times people get involved in what is called a cycle of abuse or a cycle of victimhood. And it's not because they want to be victims or they want to be abused. It's because they, at some point, their brains have rationalized certain behaviors and their brains have ignored certain red flags because they have literally been groomed to accept certain behaviors since childhood. So traumatic experiences can be very difficult for the human mind to release unless they are truly faced by the person and with a therapist. But so many times we as women will believe and hold on to the belief system that, because I had, a divorce, or because I went through a bad relationship, or because, my father was abusive, all men are abusive, all men are horrible, all men are this, or whatever it may be. I'm just giving an example. The point is, the reason you feel that way is because you did have a traumatic experience and it really did a number on your psyche. But it is a limiting belief because we know that that is not true. There are hundreds of thousands of billions of people on this planet, and they are not all bad. But it's because of the experiences that you've gone through when your mind has normalized that there are really, really bad people or whatever the experience was or the event. So it is a limiting belief that you really have to learn to unpack so that you really understand and question it and really get to the bottom line so that you can find a new truth and you can hopefully find your happiness. So again, that's the reason why so many times we fight for our limiting beliefs. We say, no, this is how my family did it. This is how my community did it. Or, oh no, I went through that with my ex and all men are bad. We go through these really difficult situations, or we go through very strong traditional beliefs from our families. And we think like, this is how the world works. This is true for all things, but it might not be. It might just be something that they experience and they pass down to you. But now it's holding you back. It is a limiting belief that is keeping you stuck. So how do you get past these limiting beliefs? How do you get unstuck? The first thing you have to do, you have to write down what it is you really want in life and without judgment. When I coach my coaching clients one-on-one, so many times I ask them what they want. And they say, well, I kind of want this, but I probably can't get it because my mother this or my father this or my friend this, and they start talking about all these other people that have nothing to do with what they really want. At the end of the day, you have to allow yourself to dream. You have to allow yourself to step outside of the norm and say to yourself, what is it that I deeply, deeply desire? And what is it that I'm willing to do in order to get it? Now, once you've got out all your desires and the things that you want without judgment, start asking yourself, why haven't you gotten it? What are the belief systems that you have about getting those things? For example, money. If you want to make a lot of money, whatever that number is for you, you say, I really want to make this amount within a year or within a month, but you've never seen anyone in your family do it. And you start telling yourself, but I probably can't do it. I probably have to work a 9 to 5. I could never, blah, blah, blah. And you start bringing out all those limiting beliefs. Start asking yourself why you believe this. Is it because you've never seen anyone do it? Is it because no one in your family has done it? Is it because you've tried to do it before and everybody said you were going to fail? Like, what is the limiting belief that is holding you back and keeping you stuck? Just keep unpacking that belief. Keep writing down the reasons of why you feel that you can't have that dream. And be willing to confront and question the beliefs. Start asking yourself questions like, is it possible that I'm wrong? Is it possible that the belief is not serving my life right now? Or is it possible that my family was wrong? That the people around me, they loved me, but it's not serving me for what I need right now? Is it possible that what I was raised to believe was good when I was a kid, but now that I'm an adult, I question it and I found something isn't right. I found some leaks and some holes in there and I don't think it fits my life now. Be willing to question your belief systems. Some of them are great, but some of them are holding you back and keeping you stuck. If you're having trouble unpacking your belief systems and really giving yourself permission to question the beliefs that you've grown up with all of your life, then I highly recommend a certified therapist to help talk you through that. OnlineTherapy.com is a program that provides therapists and counselors online all over the world. You can access them anytime, anywhere, and they really make it easy for you because you can be in the privacy of your own home, or if you only have privacy in your car, or wherever it may be, so that you can talk on the phone, you can talk on your computer, whatever it may be, in order to get the help that you need. They are an affiliate partner and a great way to really dig into some of these thought systems and belief systems that you have and really question yourself. They really can help you unpack what's been holding you back. Now, I hope that helped. I hope you liked this video. As always, leave me some comments and some questions below. Maybe let me know if you have any limiting beliefs that you felt like have been holding you back, or some limiting beliefs that you may have overcome and are now living a brilliant and amazing life. As always, be sure to click like and subscribe. And if you ever have any questions about how to get past some of your limiting beliefs and want to have a one-on-one conversation, then definitely click the link below. Join me for a quick discovery call. We can talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how to move forward. All right, this is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.